We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick that must be stopped.
Attorney John Harris revealing the accusations against Motown legend Smokey Robinson.
I will not describe the details of the assaults and because they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference.
All four of Robinson's alleged victims have chosen to remain unnamed and are referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint.
Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage.
The accusations against the music legend include sexual assault, battery, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment.
We're seeking damages of $50 million.
The complaint also claiming one of the Jane Does was first assaulted in 2007 and that these acts continued until she resigned in 2024. According to the complaint, Robinson's former housekeeper claims in the lawsuit that she was assaulted not even 2 months after she started cleaning the couple's Los Angeles mansion. Another Jane Doe claims Robinson started assaulting her in 2016, claiming when she was home alone with the singer at his Los Angeles mansion, he would text her and ask her to meet at places in the house that didn't have cameras. The woman alleges he would then assault her.
We do have evidence of some of the misconduct.
The complaint says the former employees didn't speak out or go to police because they were afraid of losing their livelihood, familial reprisal, and the possible adverse effect on their immigration status.
And having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment.
Robinson's wife, Frances, also named in the lawsuit, accused of creating a hostile work environment and being aware of what was alleged and not doing anything to stop it.
These four courageous women want and demand justice for themselves, and the filing of this lawsuit is the first step.
The complaint also accuses the Robinsons of not paying proper wages.
And we reached out to Robinson's record label about these allegations. We're still waiting to hear back.
So let's take a look at the article. They said a complaint filed in Los Angeles Superior Court accuses the 85-year-old of battery, false imprisonment, negligent and gender violence, in addition to a number of labor violations related to wages, breaks in meal times, and overtime pay. The lawsuit also names Robinson's wife, Frances Robinson, claiming that she contributed to a hostile environment and used ethically pejorative words and language. Stated that Robinson's reputation and status was an intimidating factor for his accusers, who were made to feel powerless. Women are suing under the pseudonyms Jane Doe 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively due to the misconduct allegations and leveling against the musician. 3 are former housekeepers, and 1 was the singer's personal assistant, cook, and hairdresser. In the lawsuit, all 4 women claim that Robinson would summon them to various areas around the property of Chatsworth Bell Canyon in Las Vegas at times when his wife was away. Sometimes emerging naked from a shower, he forced them to have various types of intercourse with them over a number of years, dating and starting back at 2006. Those 1, 3, and 4 all allege that Robinson went after them in a blue bedroom of his Chatsworth residence, claiming that he would lay down a towel to protect the bed sheets prior to the intercourse. Jane Doe 2's allegations state that Robinson went after her in a laundry room and a garage of the Chatsworth residence where closed-circuit cameras were unable to see them. Women claim that during the alleged incidences, Robinson would use physical barriers and threats to force to prevent them from fleeing. The lawsuit also indicates several allegations of workplace violations. All 4 women state that they worked 10 hours a day, 6 days a week without being paid minimum wage or overtime. They also claim to have worked holidays without receiving a holiday rate. According to their lawsuit, the employees all quit because of the alleged treatment, misconduct, and the hostile work environment. So let me just get this real straight, right? So roughly 20 years this has been going on. And I want people to understand that these women were going to and from the house, from and to the house. And you mean to tell me that this was happening and that because he was a prominent name, right? And again, we're not talking about, Smokey Robinson from, back in the day, right? When everything was at the height, Motown and all this. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the world that we live in at this moment, even back in 2006. We're talking about the world that we are currently living in. And you mean to tell me that for close to 20 years, y'all allow this to take place, and then you wait 20 years to come forward, all four of y'all, the gang of y'all came together in order to try to bring this man down? Really? That's what we're doing. This is how this is. Like I said, this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense to me out of all of this time. And the craziest part is, you mean to tell me that y'all went through the whole time period of the Me Too and the Time Is Up? Those were two of the most dominant times in the United States when it dealt with women all over trying to take men down from corporations, businesses, whatever it is. You mean to tell me y'all sat idly by? That would have been the perfect time for y'all to bring this up and to quote unquote cash in and get what it is that y'all want, right? But you opted not to do any of that during those times. You could have had Gloria all right, the queen of queens, when it deals with lawsuits against men and corporations, men of money, men of wealth, right? You could have the queen of queens on your side, pushing this forward. You would have had marches. You would have had protests. You would have been writing books. You would have been on magazine covers. You would have had interviews. This would have been a whole spectacle, fiasco, circus. You opted not to do any of that, but you waited up until 2025 to come frontline and center. And not only did you do that, you're also covering your face. You're not even going to put the yourself directly out there in order to be a representative to speak out for other women that this may be happening to. You don't want to be at the forefront. Again, I find it suspicious because it's easy for people to say that something happened and they're hiding behind a type of anonymity. They're hiding behind a type of mask or a covering so that we cannot fully understand who these people are. And then not only that, you also wanted to bring the wife up and say that she was accountable and at fault for certain things. That's crazy. Because I'm looking at the whole situation. All of y'all Latin. Smokey is the only person there that's black. The other women involved are Latin, including his wife. And you're saying that somebody who looks like you enabled Smokey to do the things that he was doing. She just allowed it. She knew about it. She just made the workplace even more difficult because she didn't stand up for y'all and all this. This is, like I said, this is crazy. It's just, for me, it's looking like a shakedown. And for the most part, that they said that they have evidence, but no evidence was released or pictures even shown. That's leading me to think that they don't really have anything. There may be some what if, some hearsay or whatever it is. And then not to mention, right, some of these women are sitting up here saying that they ended up getting, let's go on a hypothetical, right? Hypothetical. Let's say that there were consensual relationships that were happening in between the parties. And when these consensual situations were happening, people received some bonuses throughout the years. Because these women are like, oh, we were working, all of these conditions and it was just horrible for us. We weren't even getting paid well enough. Well, what about certain gifts or trips that you guys may have been given? What about that? What about certain assets that you may have been gifted? Because that's what I want to know. I want to know at any point in time, on this hypothetical what if, I want to know, have any of these women ever received any type of gift ranging from hundreds or thousands of dollars or paid trips or whatever it is? I want to know if these things have taken place. Because usually, right, in these hypotheticals, usually in these situations, men that have some type of power, wealth, and money, for the women that they are having or engaging in consensual relations with, they will afford them certain things. They will treat them a certain type of way. Hey, I'm going to sit up there and break you off a few thousand, real quick. I'm going to sit up and buy you this nice jewelry, this nice watch. Let me get your hair done, your nails done. Go shopping, on the Ave real quick. Go take yourself a nice vacation, you and your family. Like I said before, you're not going to tell me that this was going on for 20 years And for what I'm looking at as, and again, regardless on how people may sit up there and judge it, I'm looking at this as some type of consensual. If anything did happen, I'm looking at this as some type of consensual business arrangement. Consensual business arrangement. Because you're not going to sit up there and tell me for 20 years, you drove to this man's house, you worked there, and then after working, you would drive back to your home and your family, and you allowed this to go down for 20 years. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna believe it because it doesn't make any sense. That is the definition of insanity for me. And like I said before, moments in times like this, these are the types of incidences that take away the light and the severity of situations when you have women like this who decide to come forward and try to get $50 million out of somebody that they didn't earn or work for. You have real, actual women who go through these things where they don't have a place to go or to turn to or nobody to talk to or anybody to represent them. You got women out there that are literally suffering in silence. They're not able to sit up there and just, oh, let me pop up and get 50 real quick. They can't do that. They're living in a type of shame, a type of agony, a type of darkness. But yet you got women like this who can just pop up out the blue and potentially get $50 million. Or even if it's like 5 to 10 million, they're still able to get something. Right? And again, I want you to note that these women are looking for money. They're not looking for justice. They're not looking for him to serve time in prison for what they allege that he did for 20 years. They're just looking for a one-time payout, and that's it. Seems very interesting to me. You have actual victims out here that are seeking time for the person that did the crime so that they can never do this to anybody else ever again. And then you have other people that are just looking for profit. Very interesting how that works. And it's funny how nobody points this out. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.